Alright y'all, I'm about to do this here commentary, so come on in and sit down and take a listen. I don't know what that was. Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc.com, coming to you with your no frills American Idol commentary from a singer. Oh yes, it was on tonight. We got the top 4 again. They get to get a second go round, you know, and second chances ain't easy. So they were doing Tonight, Then, and Now. Let me talk to you just for a minute from the notes. I spotted Babyface Edmonds in the audience while Ryan was walking down the steps, and then Haley Reinhart while the girls were entering. I was like a pig in slop, let me tell you. Okay, so I said the theme is Then and Now. Then is the standards. Now, of course, is from 2013. They had to do songs from 2013. 6 months ain't even passed yet, and they had to do this year's music. That was really a good thing. Harry Connick Jr. was brought in to mentor, and he gonna have me ranting in a little while, but I'll get to that later. And we started with Now. Angie Miller did Diamonds by Rihanna, and starting it out very slow with just the piano, she was sounding good on this, right? Then she brought in some conga for a nice little vibe and gave us some power intensive vocals. This was okay for me, and them eyes were working the camera the whole time, you know, doing her thing, what she do, you know. So Keith said he didn't like the arrangement and felt like it was waiting to happen. Nicki said it was bland and lackluster. Randy said it didn't go anywhere and he didn't love it. Mariah said she was playing to the camera more than showing her heart. Well, I guess that means they didn't like it. So up next was Amber Holcomb. She did Just Give Me a Reason by Pink, and she was forgetting her words in her coaching session, but she was doing great with it in the performance. I wasn't crazy about the disjointed sound in part of the songs for her voice, because she sounds better to me when she's flowing, doing like legato passages to sing, you know, instead of staccato. Legato is more flowing, and I like her better in that kind of sound. Nicki didn't feel like this performance was connected all the way through. Randy said it was not stellar and said many contestants lose the fun at this point in the competition. Keith said he loves the clarity and bell in her voice. Candice Glover came up next with When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars, and she said she liked the emotional connection of this song and really seemed to tap into the emotion for it. I noticed her stroking the mic stand in the beginning like a lover, you know, and she really sung down the house when she came from behind the mic stand. And that ending, her endings for me are just the top thing about every single performance. She has to give us that bluesy little run or whatever at the end before she pulls out. Did I say over? Randy said it was amazing. Mariah said Candice knows how to take any song and has the musicality to suit her. Keith said she could sing When I Was Your Giraffe and it wouldn't matter because, you know, she sang When I Was Your Man instead of When I Was Your Woman. She didn't change anything. So, and it was a little controversy about that, but it didn't even matter why she was singing. It didn't make any difference at all. Nicki said it deserved a standing ovation, and 3 of the judges stood for her, not Mariah. And we move on. Please thumb this up if you're enjoying the commentary. I know I ask you every time because if I forget, I know you're gonna forget, so I try to remind you so that neither one of us forget. Alright, I thank you very much. Kree Harrison did See You Again by Carrie Underwood, and Harry Connick said he helped Kree do a record and he liked her version better than Carrie's, and this was in rehearsal. So she sat across from her guitar player in a little ring of lights on a stool and tried to tap into the emotion of the song. I thought she seemed a little far from the audience, but her vocal was excellent as usual. Mariah said she felt like she was very connected, especially in the beginning, and called her authentic. Keith said he wasn't quite connected with it, but called her voice faultless. Nicki said she sang with her eyes and she loved it. Randy said she has an amazing voice and it was a great vocal, and he loved it. And Harry came out to congratulate her on her performance. Pimpin' much? Next up we got to the standards. Angie Miller did Someone to Watch Over Me. And I liked the start in the verse of this song, I really did. But I wasn't convinced when she went into the body of the song. She sounded good enough, but she didn't really start to shine until she got into the big notes. Keith said it was beautiful except for the ending. Nicki said she always puts her in mind of a Disney princess, and it was better than the first performance. Randy gave props to the guitar player and said he didn't love the arrangement in the middle. He said it got a little messy and the music was overpowering her. Mariah's mom was in the audience and we got to see her on camera, and we got a little Nicki Mariah drama. You have to watch that if you want to check it out. Amber Holcomb was up next. She did My Funny Valentine. And in rehearsal, Harry Connick Jr. was saying that she didn't know what she was talking about, and he was really trying to get her to understand the lyrics. So she was seriously giving me chills in this performance. I love the way her voice rang out and her heightened sense of the lyric, you know, how just getting the background story for her brought out a little more in the lyrical content and her connection to the lyrics. All the judges stood for her. She was crying a little bit, so Nicki was trying to basically say to her, you know, that she did wonderful and it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow and all this good stuff, because I think she was a little depressed that she might not be getting the votes. And you know, and when Nicki started talking about, oh my God, I see you starting to cry, and then her tears really started coming out. Randy said she slayed it tonight and called it stellar. Keith said there's no energy in the audience when the girls are coming out, but all she needed was a little bit of confidence. So Harry Connick Jr. was talking about sticking to the melody, and he harped on this in every time that he was giving the girls their notes and stuff like that. And he said it doesn't make sense to do riffs and licks on standards. And I was like, well, okay, I'll say it like this. Every jazz musician that I've ever known will say, you first establish the melody of a song before you start doing other stuff. So you establish the melody because the melody is what people fall in love with. The melody is what the writer has put forth for us all to enjoy. So you establish that, then you work away from it, and then you come back to it. And every big jazz musician, every singer, I mean, Mel Torme, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, all of them, Nat King Cole, will do this in their performances, and Nat, especially on the piano, will establish the melody, do all this stuff where you might not even recognize the song anymore, and then come back to the melody to finish out the song. So I do not agree with him saying, oh, you don't need the licks and the riffs and blah blah and the other. What the good thing that he was saying was that you have to know the melody. You can't listen to what someone else has done and sing off of what they're singing, because you are not connecting with what the writer has intended. You have to go back to the original. Always go back to the original and learn the melody of the song first. Yeah, so that's my rant for today. Candice Glover was up next. She did Use Change by Billie Holiday. And I noticed her stroking the mic again. And I wrote, has she been doing that before and I just didn't notice, or is this something new? I liked how she was trying to really be straight with this on the melody and stuff like that, and controlled and all that good stuff, but still she brought out all this emotion and vibrato and intensity, and then she just broke out like she had been just, you know, and then all this energy broke out and she got her little wrist and stuff in. I was just like, go girl. It was really powerful for me. I was really enjoying it. All the judges stood for her. Randy told her to speak her truth and disagreed with Harry Connick Jr. about not singing runs. Mariah said the texture and the subtleties were wonderful. Keith said it was beautiful, and Nicki, for once, didn't say anything. On one of the best performances, but I guess maybe the producers told her because they had something else coming up, so I didn't know that. But at the moment I said, why would she pass? Okay. So last up was Kree Harrison. She did Stormy Weather, and Harry got on the piano and played some serious jazzy licks during rehearsal. I was like, go ahead on, brother, serious jazz musician here. I didn't know. I'm not a big fan, so I didn't know. Okay, so in performance, Kree seemed to get further away from the melody than normal, and I don't know if it was because the notes that he gave her, because he was telling her to stick to the melody, blah blah blah, but to me it seemed like she was doing more than she usually does outside of the melody. This was another great vocal from her, but I think she was thinking more on this one than she was on her first performance and didn't quite let go. Mariah seemed to want to say it was a bad song choice and thought she'd do and said she thought she'd do something more bluesy and raw. Keith straight up said he would have chosen a different song but told her don't lose her natural instincts. Nicki harped on song choice also. And Randy said there was a disconnect and told her to always stick to who she is. And then Ryan called Harry and said he should have a response to all this. And him and Randy got into this big argument. And I wrote about the difference between a version of a song and first learning a song before deciding how to sing it with question marks, because I'm like, I don't even understand what I wrote, but I'm typing while they're talking, right? And I'm like, I don't even understand that, so I don't know how anybody else is going to understand it. Okay, but anyway, I agreed in part with both of them and disagreed in part with both of them. So the girls got an extra performance tonight, I guess just because they knew there was going to be extra time, and they did Wings by Little Mix, and they came to the audience with the background dancers bringing a little sash, I'm not sure what this was about, just a nice little bonus. They sounded good, they looked good, I like the all-girl thing going on. I guess they had to fill some time, and I wasn't mad at them because I really enjoyed just like the little letdown, not letdown, but the little release of that little extra energy that might have been there, Tomorrow night, there will be Will.i.Am, David Cook, and Harry Connick Jr. performing. Let me know what you thought of the performances tonight, and let me know, I don't know, my little rant, I don't know if I went the right way. I'm thinking about a So You Want to Be a Singer about this already, because sometimes you just have to, with any competition situation, with any coaching situation, with any mentoring situation, you have to know who you are or have some idea of who you are and what comes naturally to you. And then you can take their notes, use what you can use, and just discard or save for later everything else, And, I guess that's just the way I feel about it. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm out. Peace.